Naughty, naughty, you get a naughty, you get a naughty, punish.
Thank you, Santa.
You're welcome. I don't know why I have a little accent.
He's British now. Okay.
Anyways, hey, spooky friends. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. We are your horror besties, here to break down all the Yule time blood, guts, and all the spooky holiday cheer in between. I'm Emma, and right beside me is my partner in crime, my little...
Conductor.
Oh my God. You know what? You are a little conductor for the Polar Express. And here she is.
Here I am.
Here's Allie.
Happy Polar Express season.
Happy Polar Express season.
AKA Merry Christmas. If you're listening to this is coming out on Christmas.
Yes. If you guys celebrate, we hope you have an amazing Christmas. But as always, if you are listening to this in the car with little ones, please, put their headphones on.
Yeah.
Don't stop listening, but we may have a curse word here and there.
Yeah. Mind the gap.
Earmuffs, please. Earmuffs, please. But anyways, Allison, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great. It's fucking Christmas.
What have you been up to?
All of the festive things. It's just, I've been really getting to the festive season, obviously, this year. But I also just saw The Shining got re-released in theaters in IMAX for its, 45th anniversary? And that was awesome to go see it in theaters. I know you saw it too.
We both saw it, unfortunately not together, but that's okay because I agree that it was equally fucking epic.
It was so fun. Obviously, we've seen that movie a million times. I've even seen it in the theater a couple of times, but to see it in the IMAX was amazing and a better quality. You could hear the sounds more. You could see everything more. I noticed things I've never noticed before. Fucking love that movie. So that's been fun to incorporate some spooky shit into our festive shit.
One more note on the IMAX situation. We haven't made any public declaration of how we feel about Netflix and Warner Brothers and that whole ordeal. But let me tell you what we do support, you guys, is we support people in the fucking theater.
Oh, yeah.
And I will say, going to see The Shining in IMAX, it was packed, at least at my location. It was fucking packed. Everyone was there. Everyone was enjoying this beautiful experience. And God, it's just like a number one reason why I love the cinema is just the feeling that you get. And, you're there with all the people. You're all feeling the same feelings that the film is trying to evoke out of you. And it's such a cool collective experience.
And I think there's something really special about seeing a movie in theater that you have never... you weren't around for when
we obviously were not born, or even close to being born when The Shining came out. And that was actually my first time seeing it in theaters. So I got to see it in theaters in IMAX for the first time.
But it is a cool collective experience to go see this movie that you grew up not seeing in theaters, but you love so much, and then get to see it with an audience and get your sense of community with the audience.
It was so
You're
cool.
all experiencing it together. It's really cool. It was so very cool.
Yeah. But speaking of festivities and all the festive stuff and the fact that today is Christmas, Allie, do you want to tell everybody what we are recapping today?
I sure do. Today we're recapping 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night. So we're talking about the original Silent Night, Deadly Night. I know the new one just came out recently.
Yes. Yeah. I am planning on seeing that soon. I don't know if it'll still be in theaters by the time I'm ready to actually watch it and when my schedule clears up, but I am going to watch it after watching this film. I'm curious what the similarities are.
Yeah. This is my first time watching it for this recording.
Same.
And I didn't know anything about this movie, plot, or literally anything going into it. And usually I do my research, but I just went in completely blind. And I also don't know anything about the new Silent Night, Deadly Night, if it has similar plot lines or, anything like that. So similar to you, I will go see it at some point, the new one. But for today's one, to kind of quote Harry Styles, it's a movie that does not feel like a movie, because he famously said about Don't Worry, Darling, it's a movie that feels like a movie. This movie does not feel like a movie to me. It made me, in one word, uncomfortable.
I agree.
For many reasons.
Yeah, I think when I went into the film, very similar to you, I had no idea what I was getting into. I wasn't familiar with a lot of the cast's work. I wasn't familiar so much with the director's work. We were going in a little blind, which nothing wrong with that. I think sometimes that can be really, really fun. But I agree with you. We'll get into it a lot more too at our final thoughts stage. But I think uncomfortable is a great word.
For many uncomfortable noises, uncomfortable sexiness, question mark?
Yeah.
It was a unique experience going into it blind. But if you haven't seen 1984's Silent Night, Deadly Night, this is your spoiler warning. We're going to be spoiling the shit out of it. If you haven't watched it and don't give a fuck, then come on this sleighless ride with us.
Silent Night, Deadly Night is about a boy named Billy who, as a child, was warned by his senile grandpa that Santa punishes those who are naughty. And then he witnesses his parents being killed by someone dressed as Santa. Now, Billy is 18 and out of the orphanage when he finally snaps and goes on a killing spree as Santa himself.
That's a really weird summary of a movie.
You really don't need to watch it. You could just read this.
I mean, kind of. I think it's basically this movie's just about a traumatized young boy who's poorly coping with seeing his parents get murdered. And the Christmas aspect just happens to be like random.
Yeah. One thing that I can say this film did right is this film was released on November 9th, 1984. So often we see Christmas films or Halloween films that are not released anywhere near those holidays. Yeah. And I think sometimes it can be to its detriment. But this tested extremely well with 17 to 24-year-olds. It was a moderate success until it wasn't. And it actually even beat out Nightmare on Elm Street on opening weekend after being released on the same day.
Yeah, I was going back to what you were just saying. I'm surprised that Nightmare on Elm Street was released in November.
I know.
That seems like more of a summer slasher, but I agree with you that November was a perfect release time for this. And it was surprising to see that it beat out Nightmare on opening weekend.
I think people truly were like, oh, I'm going to watch a horror movie that's centered around Christmas because it's almost Christmas time. And then to your point, words spread and they said, no.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Exactly.
Something else about Silent Night, Deadly Night that's pretty interesting is that this film sparked very major controversy prior to it being released, and it ignited like a full-blown moral panic over its marketing campaign. So the film's poster and some of its TV spots, most notably featuring a murderous Santa Claus, outraged parents and religious organizations, leading to protests and picketing outside theaters nationwide.
I think this is an interesting point because if you've seen this movie, you know it's problematic in many ways, but I think it's odd that people were so outraged that Santa was being
a bad boy.
He was killing people.
Yeah.
And that's what they were mad about. But there's several other things like kind of abuse and sexual assault that happen in this movie. Why not be outraged at that?
I agree. It seems like the outrage lumped all of those things together when, it should have been a little bit of a bigger call out here.
Yeah.
Like really if you're going to have issue with anything, it shouldn't be freaking Santa Claus.
Direct that frustration on actual problematic points.
As public backlash intensified, advertisements were pulled before the film could fully roll out, and it was removed from most theaters within just 2 weeks. So before even Christmas happened. And adding fuel to the fire, Coca-Cola, who owned TriStar, the film's distributor at the time, pushed to distance itself from the movie due to its heavy association with the holiday advertising. The studio ultimately went so far as to rescind all home video distribution deals, which is kind of crazy because I think these days, and I think it's case by case per film, but if a film is getting a lot of negative flack, it seems like studios and marketing advertisements, they're not so quick to just pull the plug.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe not in all cases, but damn, you guys didn't even give these guys a chance.
Well, honestly, I didn't know that Coca-Cola was involved in some aspect. So knowing that powerful machine of Coca-Cola.
They were like, get this out of here.
Yeah, they are Illuminati status. Like they will make shit happen, and they made this get pulled.
Yeah.
And that is kind of funny because Coca-Cola is so heavily in line with Christmas.
I know.
Fucking Santa was made up by Coca-Cola.
And if only this came out in our age, because I think Coca-Cola would have been right on board.
Yeah.
And would have partnered and had some amazing activations and cross promotions. It's just so funny what a different time it is.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. Definitely a sign of the times.
Yeah.
And because of all of this backlash, it's kind of sad, but the director, Charles E. Sellier, he could not get work after this because of all of the negative press it was getting, which is a bummer.
Yeah, it's not even about whether people liked or disliked the film. It just didn't even have a chance. So he already was getting negativity from that.
So basically he stopped directing and led more with the producer side.
Yeah.
But he was donezo. And something not related to that, but he actually refused to direct the death scenes in this because he found them too gory. He had somebody else direct those scenes.
Really?
Like, why bother my guy?
Huh.
Don't direct any of it.
Something kind of funny. I don't know if you noticed this, Als, but we watched it on Shudder, and you can see in some of the goriest moments that the quality of film changes.
Like the actual film
because
itself?
I think it's the unedited cuts.
I did watch the.
Isn't that funny?
I didn't notice that, but I'm not gonna rewatch this because it was a waste of my hour and 25 minutes.
I remember at one point when it happened in the film, I asked the producer, I'm like, wait, what's going on with the film? Like the quality's so bad. I thought it was a loading, like buffering issue, but it was clearly like
interesting.
Yeah, they slapped some of the unedited scenes together with this different version.
How funny.
So funny. Speaking of how this film was received, though, this has a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, which I believe is kind of high.
That's almost a 6.
We're almost there.
I'm right there with you. Tomato meter was 53% and popcorn meter was 40%. And those are honestly really high for how bad I thought it was.
Yeah.
And how much the backlash was,
Yeah, it's funny too because critics also didn't seem to really like this film. So very popular film critics, Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert, who both notoriously hated overly violent films, they heavily criticized this film on their TV show At the Movies. And they went as far as chastising the entire crew by listing every single person involved and calling their profits blood money, which is crazy. But to no surprise, Friday the 13th was also given the same treatment by the critics 4 years prior. So we all know how that one ended. Some critics called the film an absolute travesty, a worthless splatter film, and a sleazy, miserable, insulting, worthless, expletive piece of garbage. And another critic asked, "What's next? The Easter Bunny as a child molester?" Well, yes, sir. They're going to make all kinds of films in the years coming.
Just you wait.
Just you wait. Going back to the controversy of this film, the controversy accidentally helped cement the film's legacy, though. So what was once a box office disaster quickly became a cult classic, largely because it was treated like kind of a forbidden Christmas contraband. And so the tone eventually shifted as the film went on to become a cult classic, spawning 4 sequels and loose remakes in 2012 and currently in 2025.
I honestly can't believe this became a franchise.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild to me. Going back to what critics versus actual just fans. Yeah, of course the critics didn't like it. And the fans that were tested between 17 and 24 liked it because all the fucking boobs.
There's so many boobs, you guys. I also think that there is a special place where everyone just loves a good B-horror film.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to almost find people that love a B-horror more than you're going to find people that don't like a B-horror.
There's a huge market for just B movies. Like it's insane.
It's crazy. But all of that aside, Allison, are you ready to go on a sled ride with me into this movie?
I'll go on a sleigh ride with you.
Oh, okay.
Sleigh.
Good. Then maybe we won't get our heads cut off.
Hey,
cheers. And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
This film opens with a little girl singing a Christmas song, and we get right away a killer title card shot with some blood. It's all animated. I fucking love it. I think the title card sold me immediately.
I'm going to say I did love it. However, it read very 70s to me rather than 84.
Did it kind of remind you of Black Christmas a little bit?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes. Perhaps it was because this was the title card and it reminded me of 70s, but this whole movie just read a lot earlier than 1984 to me.
It could even remind me of like My Bloody Valentine.
Yeah, definitely. See, like 70s.
It's that same vibe.
Yeah.
After our title card shot, we find ourselves on Christmas Eve, 1971. We have a young boy, Billy Chapman. He's riding in the car with his parents and his baby brother, Ricky, and they're on their way to visit their grandfather.
Maybe this was just me, but there's a baby sitting in a mom's lap in the front seat of a car. Is that allowed?
That was normal back then.
Damn.
I talked with my mom about this, who grew up during this time, and a lot of cars didn't even have seatbelts.
That's a fresh-ass baby sitting in the front seat.
Yep, I'm sure that was not weird at all back then, which is so crazy.
Cool.
Something else that's really cool about this scene is that it's very mountain-esque. Like, we're getting almost a twilight shot. It's before sunset, so we're getting to see all the snow on the mountains, and we find that we're in a mountain-esque setting in Utah.
Yeah, it's like pretty and festive.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah. So as they're driving in the car, Billy asks his mom if he could stay up to see Santa. And his mom is like, no, it's naughty to stay up past your bedtime and naughty kids don't get presents. So we're immediately getting that naughty exposure into his brain.
To a child's brain.
Then shortly after that, they arrive at the Utah Mental Health Facility, and this is where Billy's grandfather lives, apparently.
I thought the Utah of it all was super random, but maybe it's just because they filmed it here. But it looks pretty, all of it.
Yeah, it looks very pretty.
Good for them. Anywho, we're all at the mental health facility, and grandfather, who we meet, is fully catatonic and unresponsive. There's also an orderly type person who asks to discuss Grandpa's health plan in a different room, and I understand wanting to discuss the plan with the parents, but they're fully going to leave this child alone with unresponsive grandpa. And even if he's not able to speak or move or whatever, don't leave this child with somebody who's in a mental health hospital.
Yeah. Probably not the most wise. Like, he could get into some shit that he shouldn't be.
And he absolutely does get into some shit. But the mom's like, okay, don't worry about it. Grandpa won't hurt you. Be back in a few.
And while Billy is left alone with his grandfather, he suddenly grabs Billy and out of nowhere kind of starts smirking at him and tells him that Santa Claus punishes the naughty. And he says, Christmas Eve is the scariest damn night of the year. And he says, what about you, boy? You been good all this year? His grandpa also says that if he sees Santa Claus tonight, he better run. Like, where is this fucking coming from?
Genuinely, and after this encounter, we don't see grandfather again. What is the point of his story arc?
Yep, no idea. Like, what Santa hurt you?
Like, actually. Shit, man. As I was thinking about this, I guess the premise of Santa as a kid could be really fucking scary. A man coming into your house in the middle of the night who's either going to give you a present or fucking slap you with coal.
I mean, Santa's scary to a lot of kids. You see all those Santa photos where the kid is just absolutely not having it.
I mean, think about it. Like, Santa and a lot of Santa affiliate lore is like rooted in behavior and punishment, which is scary.
Hello,
fucking
Krampus.
Yeah. Also, mall Santa's scary.
Yeah.
So Grandpa's psycho and Billy's all freaked out. And when mom and dad come back, Grandpa returns to his catatonic state.
And it's like nothing ever happened.
Yep.
Billy doesn't say anything to his parents, but he brings some stuff up as they're driving home. He asks his mom if she's ever been naughty when she was little. And at first, she thinks it's an innocent question. She, has a very light tone with it. But then Billy's parents get a little bit suspicious when he says that he talked to Grandpa.
Yeah, mom and dad basically are like, what the fuck? You actually heard Grandpa speak?
Yeah.
I don't know if they believe him or they don't, but
spooky. Meanwhile, in a gas station convenience store, a man dressed as Santa robs and kills the store clerk before driving away.
The scene was so random to me.
It was.
This man who just is dressed as Santa comes in, and the convenience store clerk is kind of bitching about Christmas and how it's good for business, but he fucking hates it. And it escalates so quickly. This worker there is kind of venting to this Santa man, and then Santa man's just like, bro, I'm robbing you.
Yeah.
And then maybe one line of dialogue later, he shoots this guy.
Yeah, it goes 0 to 100 real quick.
0 to 600 very quickly. And then as Santa's coming out of the store, he looks at the money. He's like, fuck, it's only $31. That's so lame. And I just we never get to the answer of why he's dressed as Santa.
We have no idea, but it reminds me a little bit of how almost anyone can get hired as a mall Santa.
Or put on a fucking Santa costume.
Literally, it's sort of scary when you think about how there's no one's checking these Santas, really.
You know what sounds like a fun experiment is if you and I dress us up as Santas and go to a store.
I actually did dress up as Santa when I was homecoming queen my senior year. It is a tradition at my high school that during the winter assembly, the homecoming queen dresses up like Santa and we do a little dance routine and I pass out candy canes. It's very fun.
I can't decide if I hate that or love it.
I loved it.
Okay.
It was great.
I'll be on your
It's
side.
like a tradition. It was just like so many people have done it before me. So many people have done it after me. It was really cool.
So fucking random. All right.
Anyways. Then the family ends up stopping on the roadside when they encounter this man dressed as Santa Claus who has a seemingly broken down car.
Mom all of a sudden says, oh, look, Billy, you might actually be able to see Santa tonight because that's what he had been saying earlier.
They think it's all innocent and it's just a man that needs some help with his car.
And rather than be all excited, Billy says, girl, bye. I don't want to see Santa. He's going to punish us.
And lo and behold, unfortunately, the Santa, he goes on to brutally murder Billy's father. Then he sexually assaults and kills Billy's mother by slitting her throat. And he leaves the baby in the car. And all the while, Billy has escaped and is on the side of the road hiding in behind some trees, and he witnesses all of this.
Traumatic, obviously.
Yeah.
This Santa, though, is just so aggressive and willy-nilly. Just, he's got his gun and he's just zero dialogue. Just, you know,
Like, what was the point? What was your motive?
I was like, is he actually broken down and needs a ride? Okay, in that case, why take the time to then sexually assault the mom in the middle of the street? Also, piggybacking off of doing that, why do we need the mom to be, her shirt to be ripped open in the middle of the street?
Because they needed some boobies.
It's 1984. Hey,
they needed some boobies.
I guess bras don't exist. It goes straight to shirt in this.
And that's it.
This entire movie. Something that I do love, which sounds awful, is the Santa says, ho, 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 while he's slitting the mom's neck.
Oh, gosh.
Poor Billy, though. He's witnessed all of that, and that's fucked up.
Yeah. The first scene cuts. We hear Christmas music playing, and it creates this jarring contrast, and then we are done with this scene.
This soundtrack slaps. It feels like all of these songs were made up just to be in this movie. I didn't look further into it, but all of the Christmas songs you'll hear either sound like they shouldn't have Christmas lyrics or they just don't make sense. And
they are so weird.
They're so weird and they slap. They got bangers on bangers in this. I'm going to need this soundtrack. Drop the album.
Question for you before we move on. Like, how did this scene make you feel? Do you feel like we ever really recover from how we felt during this?
It just really set the tone that, okay, this is what I'm going to get. It's a stupid slasher film.
To me, it gave a bit of a serious note with the like sexual assault of the mother. I don't know why it feels not, this is going to sound weird, but I don't know why it feels not as intense if the Santa just killed them both, but because there's like that sexual element into it.
I agree.
It's just weird. And you said earlier, it makes you uncomfortable.
And having not only this young boy witness his parents getting killed, but also seeing your mom naked in the middle of the road getting assaulted.
Yeah. I think without even knowing that Billy was the killer at this point, I knew that that child was going to be fucked up and do some fucked up shit.
I mean,
which is sad to say because this happens, unfortunately, to real life people. Yeah. Crazy, crazy, crazy. I also think that there's a jarring aspect to the fact that this is a Santa who is usually a symbol of like safety and happiness to a lot of folks, and he's being violently corrupted. It gives me Bad Santa if Bad Santa was like a horror movie.
I was just thinking, and a lot of portrayal in at least movies, maybe this is my horror brain talking, but a lot of portrayal of Santa in movies has a negative aspect, whether he's like a drunk or smells or is like a bad person.
I just watched Home Alone, and there's that Santa who is leaving for his shift, and he's not a bad guy, but you could tell he's a little bit of a sleaze, maybe.
Even the one in Elf supposedly smells like
I
don't know, cabbage or I can't remember, sandwich, meatloaf. Kind of a lot of dissing going on of Santa in movies.
Then we fast forward to December of 1974. So Billy and Ricky are a little older, and they've been sent to a Catholic orphanage run by Mother Superior. And it's presumed that they've been there since the tragedy.
Hear me out. Have you ever thought of that maybe nuns wear those headdresses because they don't want to do their hair?
I don't think that that's the reason that they do it, but that may be a plus. I also think they still have to do their hair. It just sort of is something that goes over it. Kind of like in the military, it's like women still have to do a very hardcore bun, even if they have a cap that goes right over it.
True. Or like when I wear a beanie.
Like it's very uniform.
Yeah.
I don't think they let you just go willy-nilly under there.
You could tell I was doing some soul searching as I was watching this movie.
I could very much tell. I could very much tell. We run into Billy, and we see he's a troubled kid we could have expected. He's obviously still deeply traumatized, and it shows when he's in class and he's drawing a picture of Santa or like a Christmas drawing. And his teacher, Sister Margaret, she tells him he needs to go see Mother Superior because of the drawing that he did. It's of a stabbed Santa with multiple knives and stab wounds and a reindeer with its head cut off, but it's in child form, if that makes sense.
Like it could be, I could see this at a horror vendor market.
Yes,
being sold as wrapping art. or wrapping paper.
Ooh, I mean, I'd like it as an art piece in my home, honestly.
Same. However, as a nunnery, And knowing Billy's background, they should be way more concerned.
Oh, yeah. And the religious implications here, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mother Superior, the biggest thing that she does is just punishes Billy by sending him to his room. And she says, "You will learn what it is to be sorry." Then after he leaves, Sister Margaret tells Superior that it's clearly evident by his drawings and his behavior that what he experienced is still inside of him. But Mother Superior doesn't seem to want to hear it. And Sister Margaret says the memory is still there. It's waiting to come out, and it seems to get worse for him every Christmas. But like you said, Allie, no one's taking any of these signs and signals very seriously, except for what seems to be Sister Margaret.
Yeah, and I call her Marge because we're on
Sister Marge. Okay, I like her.
We're on a first name base. And
you're on a nickname base.
Exactly.
Okay, even more intimate.
I know, right? And she definitely cares more or in a different way. I think they both care about Billy, but Marge is more nurturing, thinking, yes, we can definitely tell that he's been traumatized. Yes, he was young when this happened, but it's still, trauma lives in your bones.
Oh, it lives in your body 100%.
And Mother Superior is more of the mindset of we can change his behavior to make sure he doesn't fuck shit up. She's that classic scary nun. The mean one.
Can I tell you what their dynamic reminds me of a little bit?
Oh my God, does it mean you? Who am I?
No, it wasn't you and I. No, that's actually extra funny with what I'm about to say. Well, I think that Marge resembles Miss Honey.
Oh.
And Mother Superior Trunchbull, both in more intense ways on each end of the spectrum, right? Like Miss Honey is obviously a lot nicer and Principal Trunchbull's a lot more torturous, but
that's a great
these
comparison.
Nuns give me the vibe. They give me the Matilda vibe, you guys.
God, I want to watch that movie. So what you're saying by proxy, by the Pythagorean theorem, is that I'm Miss Trunchbull.
Sure, yes, if that's what you'd like. And I'll be Miss Honey. Okay.
All right, fantastic.
Then Sister Margaret goes to grab Billy out of his room. She asks him to come out and play and says that she feels like he's been locked up for enough time, and she gives him a second to be alone to grab his coat and come outside. While he grabs his coat and is coming down the hall, he starts to hear moaning coming from another room in the orphanage, and he finds that it's two of the older orphans having sex, and he spies on them through a keyhole.
What I have to say is, what the fuck are these sex noises? I don't know if that clocked for you, but
no, did they sound weird?
It sounded so weird. Specifically, the man. It sounded not like intimate noises.
Interesting.
I don't know what I thought of when I was watching this, but I was like, what the actual fuck is that? So this triggers a flashback for Billy. This sex scene is triggering a flashback.
Yep.
And bummer, because if it's just naked women in a sexual situation that triggers this, then he's going to have a really rough love life.
And I think that's where we're going with this film, unfortunately.
Billy.
It's unfortunate because you can only protect a child, for so long and think that you're protecting them from all of these things, but they are going to have to experience the real world and have relationships and be exposed to these things eventually. And it's very unfortunate. We're going to see it play out, but it's very unfortunate that him just even seeing any sort of sexual act is reminding him of a very violent act.
Trauma,
baby. So yeah, that happens. And as Billy is watching through that keyhole, suddenly Mother Superior pushes him away. She punishes the two fornicators.
You know what's a funny word? Is fornicate.
Fornicator.
Who came up with that?
This whole situation too is just, it's just so sad because Billy just got in trouble and then he's fucking getting in trouble again. So after Mother Superior has punished those two fornicators she's just constantly reinforcing this idea that naughty behavior must be punished. And it's echoing this grandfather's warning, right, that Billy has grown up with. She even says to him, like, when we do something naughty, we are always caught. And then she whips him with a belt. It's so sad.
Damn.
Dude,
give a kid a break.
So intense. Like, no offense. He was just fucking curious. Sure, get the fornicators in trouble because they did break the rules. This guy was just like, what the fuck is that sound?
Honestly, he heard something and he just wondered. He's like, what the fuck is that? And poor Marge now feels guilty because she just wanted Billy to go have fun and play in the snow. But what he got was not a snowman. It was fucking Skinamax in real life.
Skinamax fornicators.
Yes.
In real life. Yep. Later that night, after all of this has transpired and Billy's been punished, he has terrible nightmares and flashbacks of his parents' deaths.
And while he's having these flashbacks / nightmares, he's also making weird noises. There's a lot of weird noises in this movie that maybe I'm just sensitive to noises, or it just doesn't match what I think that they should sound like.
I think if I'm going to be real with you right now, ready, is I think that noises that people make when they're having a nightmare versus people having sex versus people being in pain, a lot of those noises can cross.
Absolutely.
Can intersect.
Yeah.
So that also is confusing in your mind.
Definitely.
And to little Billy's mind.
That's a great point.
So it's probably also meant to, again, make us uncomfortable in the film. Good call out.
There's their tagline. Yeah. Uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable noises. Billy, he ends up getting up and leaving his room. And unfortunately, guys, gets in trouble again and is tied to his bed this time so that he stays in bed by Mother Superior.
This bitch.
She's fucking crazy.
Seriously.
The next morning, which is Christmas Day, Billy, after they've opened some presents and had kind of a pleasant morning, Billy is then forced to try to sit on Santa's lap, and he is not having it. Mother Superior is like trying to get him to do this, thinking that, I'm guessing, exposure is going to help him. He ends up decking Santa in the face. And poor Billy, just by the whole situation, he's obviously very confused. He's associating punishment, sexuality, and Santa into one moral framework, which is fucked up.
You're so right with the exposure thing. I feel like Mother Superior is basically trying to do exposure therapy on Billy. So when Marge brings down Billy to celebrate Christmas, Mother Superior is like, are you going to behave today? And he's like, yes. And he's allowed to go get his present. So now they're saying he's good enough. He's being a good boy to go get his gift. But yeah, now making him sit on Santa's lap, which they know will trigger him. Who the fuck makes you sit on Santa's lap? That's absurd. And actually, the actress who played Mother Superior felt that they could have emphasized the trauma points better in this film if it hadn't been centered around Christmas. Because if you think about it, it gets lost on you almost the actual abuse and trauma points of this film because you're focused on Santa being a killer.
I'm so glad that you brought that up too, because one of my little questions that I wanted us to discuss was like, how much responsibility does this institution bear for Billy's like eventual breakdown? Because especially back then, and we've seen it through lots of films over the years, orphanages tend to be hard on the children.
Yeah.
And I'm sure not all of them are like that, guys. I'm not trying to make a sweeping generalization, but at least the ones that we see in films, woofda.
Yeah, we're seeing the portrayal in a negative light in a lot of media we consume.
Yeah. So 10 years later, in 1984, Billy is now all grown up, and Sister Margaret is trying to help him get a job because he is now 18.
This aging timeline doesn't make sense to me, but this movie also specifically doesn't make sense.
I think we just can't look too close into it.
I got to turn that filter off in my brain.
Yeah. Billy ends up getting hired at a local toy store by Mr. Sims. And can I say one thing about Billy?
Okay.
Hot.
Okay. Now
Hot.
we're talking.
Knowing what he does later, not so hot. But right now, hot.
Abso-fucking-lutely. So at first, Mr. Sims, the store guy, he says, nah, I don't need some kid working here. And then he sees Billy. Marge is like, come look at Billy. He's here.
Oh, because doesn't he say something like, I need someone who can move stuff around and be like kind of more of like the muscle of the store?
That's why he says like, yeah, I don't need some kid. And then we see Billy and Mr. Sims is like, okay, daddy, when can you start? Honestly, same. He is so alley coded. His little jean cut.
I was like, are you Mr. Sims?
Sure. If that gets me next to Billy. His little denim cutoff shirt.
I know,
and
he's so cute.
His little wicked smile and his blonde hair. Oh my gosh. This actor is portrayed by Robert Brian Wilson. Three first names.
Love that.
Love that for him. Love that for me. And
love that for me.
Love that for Mr. Sims.
Yeah, I truly.
Also, I'm not sure if it was just me or if you caught this, but was Mr. Sims low-key into Billy when he first sees him?
Yes.
He gives him a good up and down.
Yes,
you know?
it was weird. It was a little strange. Like, what are you doing, bro?
But I get it. He's hot.
You're like, I understand.
I understand.
And right after Billy gets hired too, I love that we immediately go into this lovely 80s montage of him working.
It's so amazing and wholesome. And we get another banger of a random Christmas song. It's like,
So good.
it's always Christmas on the side of the door. It is so weird. I loved it. I need to find the soundtrack. Like I said, we get these little cute clips. You know, there's another worker drinking on the job and offers some to Billy, and Billy holds up his milk. LOL. It's something I noticed in this montage as well is he's wearing some kind of weird robe or kimono. I'm not sure if that's. Did you catch that?
Yes. I think it's a weird work jacket vest thing.
Dress.
Yeah. Work dress.
For Billy.
Yep.
You know
for
what?
Billy.
It works for him.
Yeah.
Just slip that right on over his Canadian tuxedo and it works.
There you go.
And there's a shot during this montage as well. Billy is, helping children. He's fixing a book on the shelf. And Mr. Sims comes out and nods in approval. It's just so wholesome.
It feels like this is going to be a part where he's introduced as a new character on Full House.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like those vibes are vibing for me.
Everywhere you look.
Everywhere you look.
There's a heart.
There's a heart. There's a heart. I'm here to hold on to. Anyways. But can we talk about how he's working at a toy store and it's about to be Christmas?
Yes.
This is not a good place.
I know.
For Billy to work.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
You can tell that the sight of Santa and Santa decor, it irks him because I think one of his coworkers shows him a sign that they're about to put up.
Yeah. So actually, if you see at the beginning of the montage, there are Halloween, very subtle Halloween decorations.
Okay. Yeah.
And then it's starting to transition into Christmas, and we could see.
It's like, bro, did you not plan ahead that you're going to be working in a seasonal environment?
If you actively know, or anybody, if Sister Marge, she should know.
She should know.
If there's, do not actively work in a store that has, a potential for seasonal Santa. But on the contrary, Billy is only psycho 1 month out of the year, and he looks like an Abercrombie model.
So win-win.
This is problematic for me because I'm in.
I also think that it's a bit traumatizing to him too, because he's dealing with childhood trauma, and then you're working at a toy store. I'm a little unclear with his maturity level,
yes.
I think, throughout this film, especially in the beginning here.
Yeah, and I agree with you because any normal person that recognizes their issues, like every August, I get a heat rash. So I avoid the heat and going outside and overexposure to the sun.
Yeah, you know.
I know. So Billy should avoid toy stores that have Christmas time setups.
He should just completely immerse himself into the Jewish culture, maybe forever, honestly, just knowing how deep this trauma goes.
Or honestly, too, go to an island where they also don't celebrate Christmas.
I was going to say an island.
Because he looks like an island boy.
Because I'm an island boy. Oh.
Billy boy. Whenever I go to islands, I sing, I'm an islands girl. And I go to islands a lot by myself, so picture that.
They love it. They love it.
Billy better fucking speak up next time. It's a little too late, but speak up next time because you are an adult and you can say, hey, I can't work here this month.
And his attitude is already shifting in this Christmas holiday season.
Another colleague, Andy, confronts Billy for his recent attitude shift, saying he's been speaking out more against turn, kind of being aggressive more. Andy, my guy, Billy is a piece of cardboard that basically doesn't speak, but I'm going to take your word for it.
I know it's weird because we don't actually see any examples of this within the film.
He barely speaks.
It's very what?
This must have
attitude.
This must have been extremely easy dialogue for this actor.
The only person who's actually nice to Billy at the store is his coworker Pamela, who he has some sexual fantasies of being with, but they always end, it seems, with Santa Claus killing him.
I mean, if I had that trauma, that would make a lot of sense too.
Absolutely.
But a couple things here. I know it's an 80s film, but again, I feel like there's an unnecessary amount of boobs and wet dreams in this film. And there's only one wet dream in this film, and that's too many.
I think if we're having an overabundance of it, this is what the film is made of.
Exactly.
This is the substance, the meat and potatoes of this film is boobies.
Yeah, so he sees those boobies, he has that wet dream, and he wakes up from that, and he's obviously shooketh. and he huddles in a corner like he did when he was a kid, when he was afraid. And he's basically reverting to his childlike state in response.
Yeah, it's really sad.
And again, I guess just even any sexual nature or a naked woman sets off his flashbacks.
Yep.
And it's going to be, again, problematic for me because he's so hot. And that's going to ruin our love life.
Feel so bad.
No, it's going to ruin our relationship.
Yeah, you can't date a killer Santa.
Or can I?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
Mrs. Killer Claus.
Anyways, the next day at work, Mr. Sims has to hire Billy to fill in as Santa because the previous Santa called in and broke his ankle. Despite Billy being clearly super uncomfortable with this, he doesn't say no.
Yeah, again, speak up, say no. And what led to this made me laugh and want to punch somebody. Mr. Sims is having this conversation about needing a Santa, and they say, all of the temporary workers that we can call are women, and we have to have a man because it has to be Santa, and it needs to be a man to play Santa.
Sorry, why can't we have a woman Santa?
Exactly.
Yep.
And
you wouldn't know.
Exactly. Additionally, why can't Andy, the other employee, play Santa?
That's a great question.
Choose the employee who doesn't have a traumatic background surrounding the holidays.
Why can't Mr. Sims be Santa?
Legit.
He's got a big old belly. It would work out.
Exactly.
Regardless, during his first day as Santa, he gets some difficult children. And one of them is this little girl who is just not having it, sitting on his lap. And he resorts to telling her what his grandfather told him back in the day about naughty children getting punished. And of course, she seems to sort of be a little frightened, but behave more or less.
Yeah. And again, this scene makes me uncomfortable and mad for some reason. Like you said, this little girl who's low-key a gremlin, I will say. She's squirming and chirping with disdain on Billy's lap, and Billy's being creepy and kind of whispering under his breath, you better behave or I'm going to have to punish you. He's literally saying, I'm going to have to punish you to this child.
Yeah. So later, Sister Margaret calls the store to check on Billy, and she talks to Andy, learning that Billy is filling in as Santa, which definitely concerns her.
But Marge, this is your time to step up, boo.
Mm-hmm. I mean, let's be real. She should have stepped up like a long time ago on this. He needed some better professional help. Needless to say, after the store closes, Mr. Sims is locking up, and we find out through some context clues that this is actually Christmas Eve, and he locks up and says, it's time to get shit-faced, and then they all have a little Christmas party with their 5 employees.
I love this energy.
It looks really fun, honestly, if there wasn't all of this sexual violent trauma involved.
Exactly.
It would be a fun time with a close-knit group of coworkers, I would assume.
I'm down to clown with Mr. Sims. He seems fun.
And he even says, by the time this party's over, you'll think you are Santa Claus. And he says that to Billy after giving him some shots. And you can tell Billy probably has never even had a shot in his life, too. He takes the first one down pretty hard. It's kind of crazy. We're already back at Christmas. I mean, I get it, but we didn't have much buildup from the last time when he was younger. We had a small buildup of him getting a job and working through the holiday season. But now we're here. And it's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
He's dressed as Santa.
You're right. We don't get much experience or explanation from these 3 Christmases or Christmas Eves we've witnessed with Billy.
Yeah.
Like, what was Christmas 1983 like? I don't know.
I would like to know.
Yeah.
Like, how did it get worse year after year,
Yeah. And I was talking to the producer about it, and he made a good point that without showing his previous Christmases, none of it would have made sense that's now led to him at 18 experiencing Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
Like showing him at the orphanage, and not only was his grandpa enforced it as a child, Santa will punish you if you're bad. And then the nuns reinforced that as well. So again, confusing plot points to me. Like, why bother?
But we have fast forwarded through a lot of what his teenage trauma would have been. And now he's a young man. And
yeah, he is.
Okay.
18.
Allison. During the party, Billy witnesses his coworker, Pamela, and she's being pursued by Andy. And they're getting a little flirty, and Billy witnesses them kind of sneak into the back.
Pam, girl, Billy is clearly into you and so much hotter.
Yeah, what are you fucking doing? So anyways, Andy tells Pamela that he has a little surprise for her and he wants her to come deeper into the back because he has something to show her. And Billy witnesses all of this and he's clearly upset, but also interested in what's happening.
While Andy and Pam are leaving now, Mr. Sims comes up to Billy and he's obviously schmammered. I love it. I love this energy.
So hammered.
And he's going, hey, Billy, what you doing? And Billy responds, I'm just thinking about my parents. And Sims says, oh, that's great. A boy should always think about his parents on Christmas. And Billy's like, bro, they're dead. And Mr. Sims is like, oh, my bad, guy, my bad. And he says to Billy, you know what Santa does on Christmas Eve, right? So you better get started. And that's implying that Santa
is gonna deliver the presents.
Yeah. And Billy's interpreting it as, oh yeah, it's fucking massacre time.
It's slaughter time.
Slaughter time. Let's go slay.
I'm about to slay. Yeah, I was just gonna say that. Billy then eventually goes to the back to investigate, and he finds Andy pretty aggressively trying to get Pamela to have sex with him.
Aggressive is generous. He's basically assaulting her. And like I said, I feel like parents should be way more upset about this rather than seeing a killer Santa. Another point, we see another ripped off shirt for no reason. And again, no bra.
Yep. Boobies.
Pam's boobies.
Billy's parents' deaths and Mother Superior's teachings sort of echo in his head during this time as he's witnessing it. It's like sex equals sin, sin equals punishment. And you can tell that Billy's confusion between desire and rage really intensifies during this scene. Billy ends up stepping in and he saves Pamela by pulling Andy off of her. And he finally has this aggressive moment that we've all anticipated coming, where he takes Andy, wraps a Christmas light around his neck, and hangs him after yelling naughty at him.
So I think this is a good snapping point. I think this is full snap.
Fully. And Pamela, you'd think she might be a little confused at what just happened, but also like, oh shit, Billy was just trying to save me. But she goes the opposite direction and starts calling him crazy for what he did. And she tries to attack Billy, but then he turns on her in a surprising twist and he murders her violently, stabbing her in the stomach and then pulling the knife up.
Yeah, and he says, punishment is necessary, Pamela. It is good. Oof. And hey, at least we know Billy is easily conditioned.
Yeah, seriously.
That treatment by Mother Superior really worked. But I low-key thought Pamela would have been like, oh my God, thanks.
Totally.
Thanks,
or just a little maybe confused, but she went full pissed at him, which was interesting. Then Mr. Sims comes into the back and he's investigating some noises that he heard. And Billy fully adopts this Santa persona, believing that he's now carrying out some kind of moral justice. And he murders Mr. Sims with an axe.
I wonder how firm he sticks with the moral thing, because what did Mr. Sims do to deserve punishment?
I wonder if it was drinking or partying. I mean, we don't get that answer, but
Billy was drinking.
Billy, I think, can justify anything at this point as being bad behavior.
Now that he's real snapped.
Yeah. And Mrs. Randall, who's another coworker that they work with, she's
also clearly sauced.
Yeah. She goes in the back also to try to see what's going on. And she sees Mr. Sims' body and she freaks out. She runs back into the front of the store, tries to escape, but she can't get out. The door is locked. Mr. Sims had locked it right before their little party. And then she tries to call 911, but Billy interrupts her. Mrs. Randall in this scene is kind of the final murder in the store, and she gets shot by Billy with an arrow in the back right before she is about to try to break through one of the glass windows to get out. It's so wild, but I kind of love it.
It is wild, and R.I.P. Mrs. Randall and her cute little hat. Did you see her hat?
I know. She was so sweet.
I love her hat. I love a good hat. I'm starting to snap.
Yeah. I love a good hat.
I love a good fucking hat. As I tip my conductor hat to you.
Hello.
That's the way we do it on the Polar Express. But going back to the bow and arrow thing, this is a toy from a toy store. The bow and arrow is a toy, right?
I don't know why there's part of me that's just not surprised an 80s toy store would have this.
Something that could fucking kill you?
It reminds me of I could be totally wrong in saying this just from a gut feeling, but I also feel like paintballs and pellet guns and stuff were sold in toy stores when we were younger until regulations have just gotten so much more strict
Damn,
on
that's
what kids
wild.
can and can't have.
I mean, shit.
I know. Each murder here, though, in the store, like this is reinforcing Billy's delusion that he's like restoring order a little bit. And these are all of his first kills, all happening in his Santa suit. So he's, again, like fully transformed into this like persona.
And something I will say about this movie that I clearly don't like is I appreciate the lack of unnecessary chasing. Billy's very efficient in his killing. It's like it took us about an hour to get to the killing part, or the massive killing part, but he does it with efficiency.
He does.
It's just, kill, kill, kill. No dilly-dallying.
Then right as Billy has left the store, Sister Margaret, she shows up almost at the same time to check on him. He barely miss each other. And she sees Mrs. Randall's dead body and obviously panics.
Still really doesn't do much, does she?
Yeah, no, totally.
And right after that, we get a shot of carol singers just enjoying their Christmas Eve, singing to patrons. And like I said, I swear all of this Christmas music is made up for this movie, and we have got to locate it.
I fully agree with you. Every time I heard a Christmas song, I was trying to place it so that I could sing it. And I feel like I know quite a bit of Christmas songs, and I didn't know a damn single one.
The person who wrote all these Christmas songs
brilliant.
Worked way harder than whoever wrote this script.
Yeah. It's really good. It's really good. Then presumably on his way to the orphanage, Billy makes a little bit of a pit stop.
So at this pit stop, we're met with Denise and Tommy, who they are a young couple about to fuck on a pool table. And I want to know, I mean, good for you, but why a pool table?
Because it's sexy.
Is it?
Yeah.
Feels like it's a hard...
No, it's definitely not practical, but it's like, who can say they fucked on a pool table? You know what I mean? You're a teenager. I feel like you're trying to do something cool.
Sure. Good for them.
Like, he makes that comment about the two balls in the corner pocket. He wants to be able to say shit like that.
He is full of those jokes. You're right. But something of note is every sex scene in this movie starts at the feet and pans up. Why?
You're right. I don't know. I think it's maybe just a buildup.
Sure. I'll have to go.
Or Quentin Tarantino partly directed this, but just isn't credited.
Woof. That's another subject. And I love that Tommy and Denise are actually probably the most successful actors in this film. Denise, who's played by Linnea Quigley, she is apparently famous for getting naked in 80s slashers, and she's cool with it. She knows she looks great naked. And
oh, hell yeah, girl. Get your tits out.
Yeah, exactly. And she's also in Return of the Living Dead, which we will cover someday because that is a fantastic movie. And Tommy, who's played by Leo Getter, he has been a regular on a lot of successful TV shows. So they're like our two famous people.
Look at that.
Anywho, back to their sex. On the pool table, they're getting naked and are kind of interrupted by a girl who's upstairs. And she wants to come downstairs to see Santa. But Denise is like, bitch, if you're naughty, Santa won't come. And Tommy says, well, he's not the only one. Back with his little sex jokes.
Oh, goodness. Just to point out here, too, I think Denise is her babysitter, right?
Babysitter, sister, something.
Yeah.
Who, regardless, it's weird that she's trying to fuck on a pool table while this young girl's upstairs. Cindy, the little girl, actually goes back to her room. She wants to get a present for Santa. So Tommy and Denise start to get back at it, back to their fornicating. They get interrupted again by what sounds like a cat. And Denise says, oh, I got to go let the cat in. Something wild to me is that she's getting up to put her clothing on and she only puts her jean shorts on. Only.
Yep.
Why even bother with the jean shorts, Denise?
That's all.
What's going on, Denise? And so she goes to the door to let in this cat, and she's just fully bare-chested it with her Daisy Dukes, standing in the door just like, where's the cat?
I'm sorry, but what the hell?
And it's snowing outside.
What are you doing? I'd almost get it more if you put your shirt on and not your shorts.
100%. She's wearing underwear, like not granny panties. We don't call them that anymore, but she's wearing granny panties.
It's just so funny to me because this is so clear that they just wanted to have more boobs in this film.
She got a great body.
Like, I don't blame her.
Denise, love you. Good for you.
As she is checking the door, she doesn't find the cat, unfortunately. But then She closes the door and Billy at the same time like surprises her and breaks down the door with an axe. Something funny about this scene is that writer Michael Hickey, he stated that he was inspired by Stanley Kubrick's The Shining from 1980 while completing the screenplay, as it also features a mentally unstable man, hello, Mr. Jack Torrance, wielding an axe driven to commit murder. So you can tell that there's a very clear connection here and very clear influence. Mm-hmm. Billy ends up attacking Denise in the living room, and they have a little bit of a cat and mouse for a hot second. For as small as she is, she tries to fight back as much as she can and tries to squirm out of his arms, but ultimately doesn't really make any progress. And Billy takes her entire body, lifts her up, and he stabs her through deer antlers from a mounted deer head that's on the wall while screaming, "Punish, punish."
There's something comical about these horror movies that the killer just picks up this tiny person by like their arms and just like plops them onto the wall.
Adrenaline, like, maybe?
Sure. Man, I just think it looks funny. It's a funny concept.
Yeah.
It's iconic. He hanging her on that deer, comedy.
Yeah.
Love it.
Pure comedy.
Campy comedy.
And a creative kill.
Yes, creative. And I like the scene where you can actually see the antlers coming through
her skin.
Through her skin.
Yes, that was such a cool scene.
Very cool effect, yeah. So R.I.P. Denise. Meanwhile, Tommy is playing pool by himself, trying not to get blue balls. And he's like, what the fuck, Denise, where you at? Also, did you scope out the artwork in the game room?
No, I didn't really notice it.
Oh my gosh, it's epic. It's just tiger. It's this weird Indian painting. It's very 80s, very
Love
cool.
That.
Love it. It looks like a very man cavey kind of situation, but it
likely
worked. And I want that tiger painting that was hanging in that room. And again, during the scene, I implore you, if you haven't watched this or you're watching it again, listen to the song during this. It's something about Merry Christmas Baby Song. Drop the album. Drop it.
I'm going to get that for you for Christmas.
Please. It is Christmas. Where's my present,
It is coming. Tommy tries to come up to investigate and see where Denise is, and he finds the doors broken open. That's the first thing that he sees. He doesn't see Denise yet on the antlers. He doesn't notice that there's been like too much of a scuffle in the living room. It's just that broken open door, which is rightfully concerning. And then Billy attacks him, strangling him with a phone cord, then throwing him out the window, saying, "Punish," again. It's funny, too. You're going to love this part, Als, because the cat comes back in at some point, and the cat's totally safe.
I know, but now who's going to take care of it?
I know.
Little Cindy?
Little Cindy.
You know what I just thought of? It would have been funny if Billy put a red nose on the deer that he hung Denise on.
That would have been funny.
Thank you.
Added thing. Speaking of Cindy, though, when trying to leave, Billy sees that there's a child at the house, Cindy, and she's super excited to see him, thinking he's the real Santa. And he asks her if she has been good or naughty. And she insists that she has been really good, and that he even asks her a couple times, like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yes, I have been super good." And he's starting to take out a bloody box cutter from his pocket. And we're scared as the viewers that there might be something very sinister about to happen to this child. But he ends up giving it to her as a gift before leaving.
I would love that.
So sweet.
It's very...
now she's going to be traumatized.
It's very Sam trick or treat kind of
gift.
It
is. It is a little bit. Yeah.
This bitch is Cindy Lou Who. Like, legit.
She kind of is.
She definitely is. And isn't Cindy Lou Who old enough to know that Santa's not supposed to be that hot?
I don't know.
At no point in this movie is he wearing a Santa beard. All I'm saying.
That is true. I did think about that when we were watching it. I'm like, they had to make it clear that it was Billy. Mm-hmm. And because he's so good looking, they're like, we got to keep his face.
Exactly.
His face out in the open.
It's a differentiator.
Then we see some cops, and they're driving around. We are now fully like in the cops' point of view. And they're talking about how they have an order to pick up a Santa Claus, and that it's, even though it's Christmas, it's very strange. And we can assume as the viewers that Sister Margaret must have called after she saw what was going on at the store when she came to try to check on Billy. It's so funny because the cops, as they're driving, they see what looks like a Santa Claus sneaking into a top story window. And they freak out thinking that, oh my God, this might be the guy that we're supposed to be looking for. And they mistakenly interrupt a father just trying to play Santa with his daughter. And they come barreling into the house with guns drawn and everything. And it's so dramatic.
I was telling the producer this too, is scenes like this piss me off sometimes, like when a movie is so bad and they stick in unnecessary plot points.
Yeah.
Like, throw me a bone. Like, I'm already watching this.
Exactly.
Make it shorter.
Make it shorter. Do you feel like at this point in the film, like they're trying to make us fear Billy or pity him for the actions that he's taking? Like, how are you feeling towards his character at this point in time?
Comedy.
Okay.
Which says a lot about me.
Are you also feeling a little bit more like, well, shit, there could have been a lot of stuff done for this kid a lot earlier?
Oh, absolutely.
You know?
There's very sad things that led to him being here now that could have been fixed. And again, like we keep saying, it was a different time.
It also seems like weirdly, and I'm not trying to draw any like specific conclusions here because it's obviously not said explicitly in the film or shown explicitly, but him as Santa also reminds me of the Santa that killed his parents because they left the baby alive, right? And Billy has left the cat alive, has left this little girl alive. Mm-hmm. So it's very interesting too as we get towards the end of the film, and there's the orphanage scene too, because Billy's not after any kids. He's right. Not. There's also a part of you that my heart tugs for his little boy inside, you know?
Yeah, he's protecting
the innocence.
The innocence that
he didn't have.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But going back to where the root of it is, obviously seeing your parents get killed by this random man and then the nunnery, and now being left with all this trauma and anxiety and what other else he's harboring because of all of this unpleasantness he's experienced just wasn't taken as seriously back then. They're like, let's fix him with punishment, not therapy. Let's fix him with fear, not love. And I've been rewatching Mad Men, super random.
Oh.
But Don Draper's wife, Betty, has depression. They see it as a sign of weakness, of something is actually medically wrong with her, like physically.
Yeah. And or like you're crazy, you know?
You're crazy. Yeah. And they're not just treating her as a human with emotions and like, let's help you work through that. It's like this.
Yeah.
It's like so it wasn't taken as seriously.
Meanwhile, a couple of teenage boys are sledding in the woods, and I fucking love this part. They are sledding in the woods or about to sled, and they get interrupted by two older boys who kind of seem like they're supposed to be teenagers too, but they're clearly 37 and just want to steal their sleds.
Honestly, I was like, what the fuck is this matchup here?
They steal the boys' sleds, make them go away, basically say, get out of here. And they now want to take their sleds to go down this hill, right?
So, it's like the bullies in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, it's so random. It's like, you guys are too old to do this, but whatever. As they are going one by one down the hill, the first one goes, he makes it all the way to the end.
He seems so excited too.
He's so happy, so excited. It's kind of cute, actually. And then the second one, who just seems like the big dirtbag, he starts going down the hill sledding. He's super excited. And I love this part because Billy comes out from one of the trees and fucking chops his head off while he's sledding down the hill. And his body on the sled makes it all the way down to the bottom as his friend finds him. And his head rolls down also.
Heads will roll, bitch. I am also low-key sad that Billy ruined this pleasant sledding experience, you know?
He definitely did.
It's a crisp Christmas Eve evening.
How could he do this?
Ideal conditions, fresh pow.
Fresh pow.
And they just
you're gonna do this?
They did deserve punishment though. They were bullying the other kids and stole their sleigh.
Bad boys.
Bad boys.
Bad boys. Mm-hmm. The next day at the police station, Sister Margaret is sleeping on a bench in the lobby. She's obviously worried sick about where Billy is, and she has been worried sick all night too. So from the evening when she found Mrs. Randall in the store and obviously found out what was happening there to now it's the morning, it's Christmas Day. She's still there. She's concerned on what's happening, wants to figure out what's going on with Billy. And one of the detectives tells her that Billy has been on a killing spree. They think that they might be able to predict his next move when Sister Margaret tells them a little bit about Billy's past and, you know, some of the things that trigger him. They think that he might make his next move at the orphanage. So they try to call the orphanage, but the line is busy. There was a little girl on Christmas morning who was playing with it, and she left the phone off the hook.
This made me think about how many times I probably accidentally did this at home.
Same. I'm like, I'm so sorry, Mom and Dad.
A, how expensive, because that adds to the bill. B, how dangerous if someone's trying to call you for an emergency or
Literally
something.
so dangerous. Yeah.
I guess that wouldn't happen because we all have Apple phones. Apple phones. iPhones?
We all have Apple phones, you guys.
Where am I? Is this 2008?
We all have cell phones.
Cell phones.
There you go.
My God. Anyways, all of the officers that are on duty get a call that says, if you see a Santa, you shoot to kill if necessary.
That's terrifying for the real Santas out there.
Well, that's the thing, is it might be fucking reckless because this is Christmas Day and people could seemingly be dressed as Santa for real.
What if it's like another one of those dads doing it for their kids?
Exactly.
Yeah, scary. Billy, or so we think, he returns to the orphanage dressed as Santa for Christmas. And another cop who is in the area has been alerted to the fact that Billy might be targeting the orphanage next. And so he's in the area. He pulls up to the building. In front of all of these kids that are playing outside in front of the orphanage, he shoots Santa in the back, thinking that it's Billy.
Unfortunately, nope, it's Father O'Brien, who was supposed to be the orphanage's Santa that day, and he didn't hear the police yelling at him because he's deaf.
Perfect example of y'all are going to shoot someone that's not actually Billy.
Fucking reckless.
Which is hard, I understand, right? Because you're trying to find Billy before he makes his next move. But you can't just shoot every fucking Santa out there.
Whatever happened to a tranquilizer gun?
What? Why don't we use those more often?
Come borrow mine.
I'm like, wait, what? Do you have one?
Could you imagine? It's in my plight to get a raccoon. It's all part of my plan.
Oh, okay. Wait, and you're going to shoot it with a tranquilizer gun?
Yeah, so I can capture it and keep it.
Get it. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. This is making a lot more sense now. We're going to have to, let's talk offline about this later.
I just want a raccoon.
Okay. Let's move on.
Okay.
After this shootout has taken place, the cop is shooketh, but he still has a job to do, and he's asked by the detective to stay behind at the orphanage because they believe that Billy is still on his way. While the cop is trying to check the perimeter and keeping all of the kids and Mother Superior and everything all inside of the building, he then finds this weird kind of open door to a basement/cellar sort of situation.
What is this building?
Yeah, it's really random.
And it kind of looks like it's the nice beginnings of a lair. It looks like it's like a shack out in the middle of the field, and it's not an outhouse, and it has a basement.
I just wish there was more if Billy was actually hiding down there or something.
Yes.
That would constitute a lair, in my
That's
opinion.
where I was definitely getting is there's no fucking point to this scene.
Yeah, because Billy just yeets the cop with an axe, and now he's gone. Billy then makes it into the building, the main orphanage building, when a little kid opens the door for him, unknowing to Mother Superior and the rest of the kids. He tries to come up to Mother Superior with an axe. She's in her wheelchair. She's ready to take it. She's like, you know what? I'm just going to let this happen. There's nothing she can really do. And he's calling her naughty for all of her hypocrisy and cruelty. But then the detective and Sister Margaret, they show up and sneak up behind him and they shoot him. And they say, you're safe now. Santa Claus is gone.
Yeah, so that's what Mother Superior says to the children about, you're safe, Santa's gone. And then she says, this was kind of a redeeming moment for Mother Superior. She does one good thing by shielding these kids from danger. But then she goes and tells them all, there's no real Santa. Like, girl,
Jesus Christ.
Be cool for 1 second, all right?
She moves 1 step forward, 2 steps back.
Exactly.
All the time.
Like that song. I don't know what song that is. But yeah, so now Billy is dead and has died in Marge's arms.
And unfortunately, because he didn't really have a big part in this film, but Billy's younger brother, Ricky, witnesses the entire thing and calls Mother Superior naughty right before the film ends.
Just a perfect opening for a sequel.
Yeah, the trauma has definitely not ended here. It has just transferred.
He is the new Punisher of Christmas.
Did you think that there was ever a chance that Billy could have been saved from this situation?
What if he just fucked Pam and that fixed everything?
That was my hope and dream. That was my Christmas wish.
Yeah.
Was that?
I think it was everybody.
And that his healthy relationship with Pam could have helped him resolve some of his traumas, and she would have encouraged him to get therapy, and they had some kids, and he learned to not pass on these traumas to his children. And then this could have been a great Christmas flick.
100%.
Like a true Christmas
movie.
movie.
He's now dressing up as Santa for his children, but in a nice way.
In a nice way. Hallmark, call us.
Genuinely.
I feel like this is, though, one of the bleaker slasher endings of the 80s, in my opinion.
There's no redeeming quality.
Yeah, and it felt a little bit too predictable and a little bit too easy. Again, I have not seen any of the other Silent Night, Deadly Night films.
They're not great.
And I have not seen the new one. So maybe some of these questions are going to get answered and things are going to come full circle. I cannot say, but it just didn't feel to me. I don't know. Maybe there was part of me that felt like we could really make a cool slasher out of this. and it sort of felt like it fell dead in the mud.
I think if I'm watching a movie that's this shitty, I need it to be funnier.
Yes.
Give me more camp, more laughs.
Yeah, more camp, more laughs, all of the things.
If there was more of that, I would have loved this.
Yeah. And I think to what we were saying earlier about the uncomfortability, there is just so much of it in here that, it hurts my heart from like a trauma and conditioning perspective versus like personal responsibility. And it sucks that we have Santa Claus's like moral questioning going on here.
I think it's just a odd way to approach very real and sad topics.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, a lot of horror movies do that. But
True.
This is a very specifically weird way to approach it.
I was like, ooh, ow, that hurts for him. For Billy.
Which detracts from the funny scale, which detracts it from me enjoying it.
Yeah. So what else do you have for final thoughts?
I think I'm right there with you. Is this was a movie that didn't really feel like a movie, because it moved at a really weird pace, and that's fine. Just not funny enough for it. Although, I mean, it's cute for what it is. And what I'll say is this, I looked at the scores for the other films in this franchise. This one got the highest ranking or the highest scores.
Okay, so just that tells us something.
And I still just can't believe this movie got not only a sequel, but a franchise. And we're still waiting for The Devil Wears Prada 2. But this movie got six other films. What the fuck? I mean, it was seasonal. That's nice. I'm glad we did it. But we'll check out the remake. What are your final thoughts?
I agree. I think great boobs.
Great boobs.
There were some great boobs in it.
Too many.
But great.
Yeah.
Obviously, Billy, very attractive. So I could see when this came out in the 80s, probably all the ladies were going crazy.
Tie me up and down.
Fun. There were some characters that were so kooky to me, more specifically Mr. Sims. Like,
I love
just
him.
Kooky and kind of funny, that I was like, okay, he's bringing it back to me, like you were saying, from the comedy quality. I think I mentioned this in a previous film too. I don't like kids being abused in any way, and that means like even mentally too as well. It really hurt my heart that poor Billy was like going through all this trauma, and it made enjoying him as a slasher not as fun.
Yeah. What I will say is I appreciate they didn't have any on-scene children death.
Yep. I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
That would have fully lost me.
Because I was like, are they going to kill Cindy Lou Who? No, of course not.
Yeah, I was scared. And that's where I brought up, it's interesting how he saves almost the innocent ones. It gives me almost a vigilante vibe, kind of like Dexter.
Yeah.
It's like, he's going to take it out on people he views that have sinned.
It's like Sam with his traditions, like I said. Yeah,
exactly. So a lot of parallels there.
I'm right there with you, though, that it was a movie.
And that's the movie. That's the movie, you guys. So you can find us on TikTok, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Spooky Chicks and Horror Flicks. And if you'd like some bonus content, please join us over on Patreon for our Spooky Chicks Social Club. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or whatever platform you're on, please click the follow, subscribe button. We would love to have more friends on every single platform. We love you all so much. But honestly, the best way to support us is just by telling another friend who loves horror. And I want to say real quick, Merry Christmas to everybody. But Allie, do you want to close us out?
Absolutely. Avoid agreeing to play a store Santa if you knowingly have Christmas-centric trauma. Happy holidays, and stay spooky fuckers.